But now, an extraordinary look inside a frightening movement that's sweeping our suburbs. They're the real gangs of Oz, postcode street gangs. For 3 months, Tim Noonan's been undercover with some of the most violent gangs in the country. And what he's uncovered will shock you.
These are our streets, we own it all.
We are here, we are multiplying.
They're frightening. It's an urban war zone.
We're definitely going to see more attacks.
I thought they were going to kill me.
It's all about revenge, reputation.
Eventually it's going to come to someone getting seriously hurt or killed.
They turn on ambos, they turn on the police.
The police.
We just need to lock these guys up.
They can think what they want to think about us and they can get
How many people have to die before, as a society, we accept that this is a problem that's not going to go away?
While we sleep, there's a war raging on our streets.
He's got to wake up because this is happening.
A violent combat culture leaving entire communities fearing for their lives.
We've got the gangs, we've got the brawls, we've got the hatred.
They want people to fear them.
This is Australia's teenage underbelly.
We get together and we go on a hunt.
They just want to go out and go crazy.
It's never fist on fist. There's always weapons.
We could liken them to small, violent tribes. They're dangerous and they're going to become more dangerous.
New breeds of suburban street gangs bound not by race or blood, but by the area they grew up in.
You've got youth gangs all the way along the coast. They're all trying to make a name for themselves.
Postcodes have become battlegrounds, and for any rivals that try to muscle in, it's dangerous turf.
We're going to stand our ground, you know. We're not going to back down.
It's getting just like LA.
It's nothing new to street gang expert Brett Stevens.
We've replicated all the problems and issues that America's got right here.
For 4 years, he fought America's war on gang violence with the Los Angeles Police Department.
The police are now having to up-arm themselves to match what is occurring out there on the street.
Back in Australia as a security consultant, he believes police have turned a blind eye for too long. And now, it's too late.
We're never going to stop it. The best we can hope for is to try and contain it.
They call themselves the Warilla Boys, 2528.
There's other boys come to our area trying to make a name for themselves. They come to our area and we just, you know, if shit goes down, we end up, you know, over.
Across town, the Bulli Boys wear their postcode, 2516, like a badge of honour.
You get a bit of respect in your hometown, you know, people look up to you in a way, but then when you're out of your town, you gotta watch your back.
It does get heavy, real heavy sometimes.
Both gangs, an hour south of Sydney, rule their respective streets.
Give us an hour, we'll get 100 boys together.
All we have to do is just have one phone call.
Yeah, that's it.
And the phone call just keeps going.
We just double, like, we make one, they make two, they make three.
At times they take on the characteristics of a small army.
They love the intimidation.
We wear our jumpers with pride.
It gives them power. Maybe in their lives they're powerless, but as a gang, they're powerful and they threaten, and even the police in many instances are afraid of them.
People are going to be scared of you, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be feared.
The general society has no idea what's going on around them. You know, it's happening in the back streets, it's happening in the middle of the cities, it's happening in, you know, the little coastal towns.
Scenes like this have shaken cities to their core. Paramedics on the front line are so busy protecting themselves, they find it difficult to save others. Officers like Chris Laheen and Anthony Chatter.
It can be volatile.
You've got one eye over your shoulder the whole time because you don't know if you're going to be the next victim.
Night after night, they deal with the aftermath of gang attacks.
Have they been apprehended?
Things like this. We were there.
That needs some stitches. All right?
Pablo Katsaris was out with workmates when he got attacked.
3 of them punched me in the face.
What about ambulance staff that have to pick up the pieces?
Tough shit, they get paid for the job.
I hate
These guys perceive authority to be weak.
every night, every time you go out, it's just red and blue lights.
On any given night, you know, you'll get people with trauma, blunt trauma from being hit with implements such as bats, baseball bats, steel bars.
Homemade knuckle dusters,
Knives, bottles.
a big rock in the sock and smack them over the head.
I've seen people get stomped on the heads.
Those days of getting in a fight and swinging punches, they're over. You've got to worry about having a knife shoved in your back now as a teenager, or being shot.
These days, mate, you know, guns are coming out and shit.
Guns are starting to get easy to get.
The problem is that, you know, if you bring a knife, he brings a gun, then you need to bring a gun. Then he brings a bigger gun. Where does it stop?
But it's not just the use of weapons, but the brutal pack attacks, sparked in seconds and seemingly over nothing.
Sometimes you'll turn up on a job and find a victim who's been bashed by 3 or 4 guys.
What was your last memory?
3 big hits to the back of the head.
This man is lucky to be alive.
They basically nearly beat me to an inch of my life, really.
Randomly bashed on his way home by a gang of 4, he survived, but he still lives in fear. He's asked us to protect his identity.
Can't sleep because of it. Just keeps playing over and over in my mind.
Chris and Anthony were there to pick up the pieces.
When we found him actually inside the building, he was covered in blood. He had a number of head wounds that had been inflicted by some people that he told us had just chased him down on the street.
Sort of blacked out, and next minute waking up, so going in the ambulance.
Left with fractured fingers and broken bones, doctors still don't know if he'll ever use his hands again. The most brutal blow for this once promising mechanic.
I just can't fathom how or why someone would want to do that to another human being. It's just beyond me.
These guys operate in a world of violence, and they have to continually prove themselves as the type of top dogs that can operate in that community.
Yeah, you have to prove yourself.
I guess a fight's a fight. You don't think about how hurt they get. You just got to do it, you know.
It's better than any drug, really, because you can't get that rush off any drug.
You get the adrenaline in you and you just don't stop. What happens if you don't fight?
Well, you're a dog.
They're pack animals.
You're just whacking.
They feed off each other.
The fight might only last for like freaking what, 30, 40 seconds, but that 30, 40 seconds feels like a lifetime.
If they're after people, they'll find whoever they want and do whatever they need to do to them.
Mum said that all I said to her was that I need to blow my nose. I had no nose to blow. It was all in my hand.
At 17, Sam Cunningham is now scarred for life.
I just got smashed on top of the head with a bottle, and then they followed through. They just cut it all up, and yeah, I must have tried to block them with my finger.
I've done lots of things I regret. I can't say nothing on camera, but I've done lots of things I regret.
Do you ever worry you're going to kill someone?
Not really.
They don't think they're killers, but the fact of the matter is they can become killers. And they can become killers without wanting to be killers.
One day, one of us is going to wake up, man, there's going to be knocks on the door, phone calls that one of the boys is dead. It's going too far.
We never get caught. I've never been caught for beating someone up. We're normally out there pretty quick.
It is a game of cat and mouse.
There's not enough police in the street.
10 coppers aren't going to be able to lock up 40 blokes.
They're outnumbered. They can't help it, it's not their fault, but they're outnumbered.
They can try. They are trying right now, but they don't seem to be getting that far.
Are they? All right, yeah, we'll come up on. I'll go and check it.
Residents like Anthony Ferning have taken the law into their own hands.
There's quite a few hot spots around, and I'm just doing a bit of a patrol. If there's any children out, I'll pull over and have a chat with them, see what they're up to. You guys got a minute? You got a minute? I want to talk to you. Just want to ask you a couple of questions. A lot of kids that get beaten up just over nothing, just random attacks.
It's just going to get worse.
This shit ain't going to stop until someone gets badly hurt and someone's going to die someday.
We need to have more prisons, and these guys need to go into them.
I think that's the only way you're going to get through to them is that the one lying there in the pool of blood might be them next time.
Whatever the solution, if dire predictions come true, it won't just be postcodes at risk, but cities and states.
We have situations now where we're getting like America was 10 or 15 years ago. And if we go down the same path, we'll be like they are now.
Do you think we'd be out there doing it if we had something better to do?
We're going to see more violence, we're going to see more drive-bys, we're going to see more stabbings, we're going to see a greater percentage of drug use, we're going to see ghettos grow.
To the parents, to the grandparents, to the aunties and uncles out there, you just got to wake up because it is happening. It's happening now.
And 23 people have now been charged by an anti-gang strike force for offences that include affray, assault and grievous bodily harm. That's Tim Noonan with that special report. Well, too often we hear tales of despair, but then along comes a breath of fresh air, and quite literally, little Imogen Alton is one of them. Now, we first met Imogen about 2 years ago when she was given just weeks to live. She was fighting for every breath. Well, now it's